Elemental damage on weapons can be a huge thing in Fortnite Save the World, especially after Stonewood, but when do you need what, why do you need it, and what is the difference between having an elemental weapon, having energy on it, and physical damage? Those are the things I hope to shed some light on in this video. So hello guys, and welcome to another one of my Fortnite videos. Just clearing out the storm chest here to give you guys a bit of an idea about completely random spread of elements, non-elements, all sorts of opponents in the game and how I take them out in the end game, because mainly for me weapon it's like more a fun surgical removal kind of random thing, whereas my main damage is based on my abilities, my teddy towers, my grenades, whatever it may be. Others may prefer traps, but all else equals, even though of course weapons are important, but how important are they and what do you use them against or for? Because that is also where you need to consider. Do you want elemental damage? Do you want energy? Do you want physical? What exactly do you want and why? It depends on your playstyle and where you are in the game. To make this video here, I have prepared a little bit by making 3 Siegebreakers, power level 50. I've given them identical perks so that they deal the same amount of base damage, but they have different elements. One has water element, one has energy element, and one has physical energy. So, like physical energy, that's silly, physical damage. The important thing to note is that water is stronger than fire, but is weaker against nature. Fire is stronger against nature, but weak against water, and nature is strong against water, but weak against fire. So if you consider that, when I'm doing this demonstration, I just included the one, I just used water because all elements work the same. They're good against one thing, mediocre against the same, and then they are horrible against another. So this here is how it's looking. None of the 5th and 6th perks are active on the weapons to make sure they are as identical as possible. And this here is of course the Golden Scar, the Siegebreaker that I am using for the playtesting, because it's my default kind of weapon that I like comparing things against. So what we can see with this weapon here is that this one has magazine size. That perk, the 2nd perk on them, doesn't affect damage in any way. If we compare the 3 weapons, what we can see is that we have the same damage on the energy and the elemental ones, like base up. They have exactly the same base damage shown, so they are pretty identical in terms of how they appear to be strong.
Can't leave without it.
DPS wise. But if we compare to the physic damage one, we can see it has a higher damage listed, and that is because the base perk for physic damage deals more damage. You can see here 32 compared to 10%, which means that physic damage weapons are always going to appear stronger than the elemental ones and the energy ones. But it depends on how you use the weapons, what opponent you are using them against, but when you have them as a perk, it appears as if physic is always stronger. That's just how it is. But if we're going to be playing them, this here is me taking my Siegebreakers, each 3, into my inventory, into my use list in an endgame mission. These weapons are pretty weak for the level, but it doesn't matter. You can see the damage here on them, 2081 and 2396.9. This is the base damage per shot that these weapons deal, and what I'm going to do is to shoot with each weapon against different types of husks so that we can get some damage reads and we can do some math about how strong are they. So against normal husks, these are physic husks, we can see that the damage they deal, the damage these weapons deal, is exactly what is shown when we don't headshot or crit. When we are up against a water element husk, we can see that water deals less damage, energy deals less damage, and physical deals much less damage. So up against a water element husk, the same element as the weapon, you are dealing less damage than with energy, but of course energy is the best if you're gonna go random things. If we're up against fire, so water against fire, the opposing element, we're dealing 100% damage. So this is the listed damage, not more damage. Energy is the same as against water, and physic is down again. So against any type of elemental husk, physics damage deal 50%, half of what is listed, energy 75, and the opposing element 100. If you're up against your worst case scenario element, you deal 25% damage, 520 damage water against nature. It is horrible. Nature against energy, it is the same, and physics is the same. So if you're using energy weapons, or if you are using like plain physics weapons, you're going to be dealing exactly the same damage against all types of elemental husks. So if you are playing where you have elemental husks, you need the opposing element in order for it to be efficient, or energy or physical. Both are really good options, energy dealing more damage of course, but there are other things we need to take into consideration, such as these lobbers here, such as blasters, pitchers, beehives, takers, shielders, super shielders. These are all normal physic husks. So when you consider what you're going to be up against, what you want to be using your weapon to damage, you need to consider what is the problematic type of husk for you. Because if your main problem is pitchers, or lobbers, or takers, or blasters, or shielders, then you don't need an energy weapon, you don't need an elemental weapon, because physics damage is going to help you take those out more efficiently than if you are up against other husks. If on the other hand your main priority for opponents you want to be taking out with your weapon are the ones that can change element, smashers, normal husks, husky husks, zappers, those types of opponents, then you want to focus much more on using a weapon that has the opposing element of what you're going to be facing. And you can often see this in advance. When you're going into a mission, it may have like a lightning storm, then you know it's going to be all nature element husks, or before defending a wave it will say it contains water element husks, then you want to have your nature element weapon.
You must be very patient.
So that was pretty much what I had to share in this video, guys. I hope it shed some light on when to use what type of weapons, because all else equal, if you want to be dealing almost the same damage all the time, you want to go energy, it is the safe solution. If you want to have a weapon that is good against blasters, takers, all those kind of things, and things that aren't element, you want physics. If you want to be really hardcore min-maxing, dealing the most damage to any type of husk, you need one weapon with each element so that you can attack an element with the opposing. So you attack nature with fire, for instance, and you want a physics element weapon to take out the blasters, the takers, all those kind of lobbers, kind of crazy things. The last thing that I want to note is that if you are using a weapon that deals high damage per shot, such as a shotgun or like a heavy ammo weapon, you're going to be one-shotting most husks anyway, and then it matters much less what type of element you have if you're dealing a high damage per bullet, whereas if you're using a light ammo, you're going to really need the extra DPS to take out things with 1 or 2 shots. That's my 2 bits on it anyway. So guys, that was what I had to share in this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you are new to the channel, want to support, be sure to like and subscribe. As always, thank you very much and very much for watching.